but they bite.
There is no good old days when there were
Well,
moral
what in
men
the
running
hell
the
are
country.
you and your young people around your
The
age going
same
to do
thing
about
that you
it?
and your young people have been doing.
What, just drink a lot and ignore it?
Absolutely. No.
Then rapper Ice-T talks about fashion in the 80s.
If you look at me in breaking, I had on leather and spikes and stuff, but I challenge anybody, show me what you wore that night you went to see breaking.
On the Roseanne Show.
On today's show, one of the hottest actresses today, Janeane Garafalo. And we have a hot and outrageous hoochie fashion show. Rapper, actor Ice-T is in the house. Kids, what in the heck is the matter with kids today? Why can't they be like we were, perfect in every way? My kids never come over to visit me. They tell me their legs are broken, but I see them walking around the studio, you know, at the job I got them. They said that seeing me 40 hours a week is all the quality time they can handle. But, you know, they hang out with their friends, but yet they do not have time for dinner with mother. I feel like maybe I should fire them, and then, you know, they'll have to come running home to me. They do not return my phone calls either, and I'm really mad. I don't get it. I leave these really sweet messages like, hello, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you calling me back? You're acting like your stupid father, and I divorced him. Oh, by the way, it's Mom. But why would they want to eat at McDonald's with their friends when they could, you know, be with me eating at Burger King? It doesn't take a genius to figure out that I am the coolest person they know. Right? Maybe I should leave that on their machines. I mean, I call my accountant, and he says that he's never had a problem. They always call him back. So one day, I got really mad, and I decided to drive over and see them. But after driving around for 2 hours, I realized I don't know where they live. I bought them all beepers, and then when I paged them, some strange guy returned my calls because he thought it was his kids finally calling him back. Now, my only other option is that new Sky Eye device. It's this low-jack thing that you can surgically implant in your children so you always know where they are. I just have to say, I am so mad because how dare they try to have a life of their own that does not revolve around me. Anyway, I don't even know why I am always breaking my back to spend time with these total ingrates. All they do is complain constantly, which they obviously got that from their fathers. But anyway, Janeane Garafalo's on the show today. Maybe she can tell my kids how cool I am. And they'll probably call Janeane back right away because she's so cool. So stay tuned for our hot and steamy hoochie fashion show that you are not going to want to miss. And we also have rapper, actor Ice-T. We have such an exciting show today, so let's get right to it. My first guest is the hottest actress in Hollywood today. You've seen her in such films as The Truth About Cats and Dogs. She was so cute in that. And Reality Bites, she's such a doll. Please welcome the very funny, very talented Janeane Garafalo.
I had no idea. I didn't know I was the hottest
in my
actress in
opinion,
Hollywood.
you are the hottest girl in all of Hollywood, in my opinion.
Wow.
In the movies, because
Thank
you
you.
got your own niche, let's be real. You got your own thing carved out that nobody else can fill but you. Now, how hot is that?
Very. Good. I guess that's good. Thank you. I'm flattered that you think that.
You don't feel that way?
I don't really feel that way, and I'm sure others would concur with my opinion on that. But thank you for saying that.
Why don't you feel that way?
Well, it's not really true.
It is
first
true.
of all-
If I say it, it's true.
In your world here on this stage, it's true, and I will allow for that. That's very nice. But anyway, so.
But you're a character actress.
Yeah.
Right, that's what they classify
That's what they
you.
call it, yeah.
But you always get the guy. Come on, nobody else is doing that.
No, I don't always get the guy. And just in a couple of films, I have gotten the Matchmaker and Cats and Dogs. Other than that, I haven't gotten the guy, I don't think. Although I just wrapped on the Abby Hoffman movie, and I played his wife, Anita Hoffman. So I guess I got that guy.
So you've got to listen
my
to
husband.
me. I'll get a whole new thing going for you in your mind.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, do you want to go off on Hollywood? Because I know you're very opinionated.
Go off on Hollywood. Gosh, I don't know. Well, although I was a little angry in Movieland magazine, they named me most in need of a makeover recently.
That's kind of a compliment from them.
I guess it's a compliment in that somebody's saying something about you, but again, I have to go back to, like, according to whose rules and, like, you know, just like
What
those
do they
dumb
mean
shows
by that?
like
Let's talk about what they
E!
really
Fashion
mean.
Form.
What do they really
mean? That they don't that what I look like or how I present myself is not in line with what they believe to be an attractive or an appealing presentation of self. I would assume that's what that means. Again, feeding and perpetuating into our cultural screwed upness about what women are supposed to look like or what we accept as a romantic lead in film. I mean, there's something I'd said that you had heard me say before. Working in film, and this is no offense to John Goodman or Danny DeVito in any way, but what I'm saying is their female equivalent physically would never work in film.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? You couldn't
No,
have...
I can't get a film role.
Or you would be in the character actor milieu, which is what they put any woman in who is not what they believe to be considered for a romantic lead, which would be maybe because of your age or your weight, and I mean the general you, not you.
Or your height.
No, I don't think height has anything to do with it.
Well,
In fact,
Danny DeVito is about, what, 4'8"?
right, but I think actually shorter women would be desirable since most male actors are very tiny.
I think it means party line. I think of the whole thing about makeovers and women looking in particular way, because you're not a clothes hanger for designers, which is party line, because they, you know, and if you look at the magazines of who owns the magazines, it's all the same people. They own the catering, and then they own the clothing, and it's all like
it's all business,
line.
and granted, I'm not naive about these things. I realize that when you look at a photo, certain clothes definitely look better on a bone. Right. You know what I mean? Like, the clothes hang better on most models, being that they're 5'10", 6 feet tall, and 77 pounds. I mean, it's appealing to the eye because we've been brainwashed that it's appealing to the eye. Right. And even I am victim to that kind of brainwashing. And it's even jarring when you see Emmy or the plus-size models. It is jarring to your eye a little bit because you're not used to seeing it.
But then you are, though. When you walk out in the street, everybody, I mean, like 60% of American women are size 14 and above.
Right. Unfortunately, not where you and I live. In Los Angeles and in New York City, that's not really the case. You know, you go out on the street and it's not like that. People are 14 and above. I mean, these are people in more cosmopolitan areas who tend to fall in line.
That's not true, because if you go to the mall or the grocery store, everybody has a big fat butt.
Right. But there's not a lot of malls in Manhattan.
But, you know, I don't even know what you're griping about, though, because here I came out here, and, you know, I had to walk around here when there was nobody. You know, there was nobody.
Right. Well, though, in theory, though, I started doing stand-up in 1985. And started trying to get into entertainment and stuff like that at a time when it was still difficult. The first television gig I got was in 1990 or 1991, where that was still on Larry Sanders and Ben Stiller show. The wardrobe people were like, "What are we going to do? How are we going to dress you?" Blah, you know. The things have changed a little more now, but there was a big problem even in the early 90s with somebody accepting that the girl that's not a size 5 has to wear leggings and a big shirt. That was always the big thing. Put on the leggings and like a big sweater on somebody as their uniform.
I thought they always dressed me like a circus pony.
Or a rodeo clown.
I had the big bright colors, around the face. Compliment her face. Her body's a disaster.
I feel actually embarrassed talking about this because I've had friends say to me, if you talk about your fat one more time, it's so boring.
See, I don't think you're fat at all.
No, I'm just saying even my discussion of same. Like, my friends are like, please don't talk about that
But do you feel fat?
In real life, no. On film, absolutely. Yeah, when I see on TV and film, because you know, you're standing next to people who are quite willing to buy into the party line and quite willing to.
Well, they were born that way, though, don't you think? Like you with Uma Thurman, that chick was born
Oh,
looking
absolutely,
like that.
yeah. There's just definitely a lot of genetic blessings going around, and that's how they tend to rise to the level of star.
Right.
But there's also a lot of women that you will work with who are literally starving to death to continue working consistently.
How freaky is that?
It's very, very freaky, but that's life too. Go to any high school there, you've got a large percentage of the student body starving to death to fit in and feel wanted or feel accepted.
I think it's like really pretty much an act of like guerrilla theater or something, to dress like you dress.
Well,
to be
see,
like
that's
you
another
are.
thing. If it's considered somewhat subversive, what I do, which it may not be to a lot of people, that's a bad commentary on our culture.
Yeah, it is,
If we're even
absolutely.
discussing it now, what I'm doing, that's bizarre to me.
It
Do you know what I
is.
mean?
Yeah,
That's a
absolutely.
point of reference for someone.
Well,
to...
we want the bizarre on TV because we never get to see it. We're going to go to commercial. When we come back, we're going to find out once and for all what the hell is going on with Janeane and Ben Stiller. Stay tuned.
But everybody else seems to find a soulmate. Have you noticed that? Everybody else seems to be able to make it happen. And I'm talking about even people, okay, I can't make it happen, yet somehow Chang and Ang, the Siamese twins attached to the chest, and Stephen Hawking and the Shine guy, and then that kid who shot his face off are all happily married and breeding.
This place, am I crazy? This place used to be on La Brea, because I'm driving up La Brea, and it's not there anymore. And then the guy tells me that it's over here. This is... Anyway, I'm really sorry we didn't get a chance to, you know, to eat and...
Are you hungry? Because the chef's doing a curbside thing now. You can just pull the car up and he'll run out with an arugula shake or something.
Are you being...
I know you'll hate hearing this. You'll hate hearing this, but I have to say it because me and my daughters talked about this. You are gorgeous on film. You're nothing but drop-dead gorgeous on film.
Thank you.
She's beautiful.
Are you Daria? Did they rip you off for Daria?
No,
that
I'm not
cartoon?
Daria. I'm not MTV's Daria.
She looks just like you, though.
I guess because we have brown hair and glasses, and we both have deep, seemingly emotionless voices. But so people make that mistake.
What's the deal with you and Ben Stiller? Are you like surgically connected or
We just like
lovers or
working
what?
together. I met him when I first moved here in around 1990, and we just wanted to work together, and so we did the Ben Stiller show together and Reality Bites together, and Cable Guy had a small part in that he directed, and we just wrote a book together that's going to be coming out. We did Permanent Midnight, and we just start, next week we start a movie called Mystery Men together, and then after that we're doing another one called Zoolander together.
Do you have some intense, like, reincarnation karma
We
with
just
Ben Stiller?
we like hanging around each other, I guess. I don't know.
I think he's so great.
He is very good. Very
Very
talented
good.
young man.
He's like the young Woody Allen, sort of.
Yeah.
With a twist.
Wears many hats, as
Many
they say.
hats. Yeah, he's very good looking, too.
He is good looking, yeah.
So how come you're not married and all that stuff? Let me just be like your mother for a minute.
well,
Is
I
your mom
went-
like that? Why aren't
I-
you married? You're in your 30s, you have no children, you're not married. What's
I know, I'm
the
34
problem?
years old, and I'm not married, nor do I have a desire to actually be married, and I know for some reason that taints you in some weird way. Thank you. But I actually just do not want to be married. I thought at one time I did, and then I realized I don't, and then I wound up getting 3 dogs, having 3 dogs, and I realized I don't want to have children either. It's a...
You have a couple
And I hope that, and people say that's so selfish. You know, you seem to be so cold and selfish to say that. But the point is, it's a lot of work, and I would like to keep working myself. And I feel like if I'm going to have children, I need to take years off of my career to stay at home and take care of the children, to do it right, if that would be my choice. And I'm the primary breadwinner.
I think,
you know what I mean?
I think like the women of your generation are just, you know, exactly like you.
Yeah, there's a lot of,
yeah.
and unfortunately, a lot of times in entertainment, female voices haven't caught up to that. A lot of movies still paint a picture of women who are over 30 of being desperate to be married, and then there's unfortunately books like The Rules, which come out and perpetuate this antiquated notion about what women want. And I can't speak
Do you
for
think men
everybody.
are like close to being obsolete or anything?
No, I don't. I don't know. I think they're still very useful.
Do you? What about
Yes.
cloning? I was thinking, like, what with cloning and all, we probably won't need men at all unless... The only thing we'll need is just, like, to learn to carve a Thanksgiving turkey, and then we won't need them.
More with Janeane when we return.
You know what? No offense, but this seat is safe.
Who for?
First guy not wearing denim.
You're not from around here, are you?
What makes you say that?
Well, you don't look like the town much. You don't. My name's Lloyd. I won't bite you.
That's a plus, Lloyd.
Well, here we are back with Janeane. Was that a great
That
transition?
was a great
I'm
transition.
getting so good at it.
Yeah, you're a natural.
I forgot what I was going to ask you. Oh, about your movie,
Oh.
Clay Pigeons.
Clay Pigeons, yes, that was a clip from that with Vince Vaughn and Joaquin Phoenix and Georgina Cates and Scott Wilson. It's out right now in limited release. And
I love that you get to do interesting parts in interesting movies like that.
well, you know, the indie film world is wide open now. There's tons of scripts and tons of things for people to be doing. I mean, it's easier to work within the indie film world, and it's a lot more fun a lot of times.
Definitely, it would be fun. How do I get a hold of this Vince Vaughn,
Vince
who's
Vaughn,
a big babe, and
he
you
is
said he's hilarious.
Very funny guy, very verbal and funny and smart, and, as well as being incredibly good looking, which is a great package, I guess. all the way
Another
around.
guy wearing many hats, too.
A guy wearing many hats, literally and figuratively, wears many hats.
Now, why don't you direct something? Why don't you
Oh, I
get a
don't
few
want
more
the
hats
headache.
on there?
Oh, God, no, that's a Herculean task. The director gets every problem heaped on their lap all day, every day for the duration of the shoot, and then when you're done with the movie, you still got to stick with it in post-production for like at least a year, and then you get the reviews come in.
Yeah,
And
that would be. I tried to direct once or twice on the Roseanne show, and I lost my mind. I have
It's
to be real
painful.
honest. I totally went to the Cecil B. DeMille.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost my mind place where I was like screaming at people calling for jib cameras to descend and everything. I hired 80 acrobats for this one scene.
Mm-hmm.
I just go, hire them all, and I want them all flipping and doing this and that. And I just like
But then
really
you realize
kept-
you have to direct it and choreograph it and edit it together and all those things. It's a painful task. I mean,
Well, everyone kind of left in the
Yeah.
middle of
they
my
just walked
screaming.
off.
So let me ask you one more thing
Sure.
before we go. I wish you would direct, though, because you definitely have a great point of view that needs to be seen on film. A woman,
Oh, thank
a
you.
young woman's point of view. Think about it.
I will. Duly noted. I will
All right.
think about it.
If you were Monica Lewinsky, though, and I offered you, and I'm asking this because you're young and dark-haired,
Youngish. Yeah.
youngish and dark-haired, as is Monica, would you take the damn $3 million? If I offered you $3 million, wouldn't you come running up here to talk to me?
Yeah, after my civil rights were violated in such a manner and I'd been violated in so many ways, I would in fact take $3 million from you. Yes, I would.
Because, I mean, you know, this poor girl's never going to be able to get a job. She's never
No,
going
she's going to have to move to Europe and dye her hair and...
She's going to have to live on an island. So
Yeah.
she should take the $3 million to help her invest in a nice little condo.
Exactly.
Thank you for being here,
Thank you for
Janeane.
having
It was
me.
great to talk to you.
Thank you.
ever wish that you had the nerve to dress like a woman of the evening? You know you have. Find out about it when we come back, because we're having the Hot Hoochie Mama Fashion Show. Thank you. You know, there's Calvin Klein, there's Donna Karan, there's Fiorucci and Gucci, but there's only one queen of hoochie couture. Please help me welcome the original hoochie mama, Luscious Cleavage.
They hard to walk in.
They are hard to walk in.
They made them like that so you can't run away.
Well, you look fabulous, my dear.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Thank you so much.
Some people can't really describe what it is I look like. You know, they say, "Oh, you look," and I say, "Incredible." Yes, you know. I mean, you know, after all these years and antibiotics, I still got it.
Now, how would you describe hoochie wear to all of our audience members who really don't know what your fashion is all about?
Well, my fashion fashion, being hoochie wear, well, you know how like when you go to the parties and you standing up against the wall because don't nobody want to dance with you? And then all the other girls is out dancing and stopping traffic and causing a commotion. They're wearing my hoochie wear. That's what a hoochie mama is.
Well, you know, what you have on looks like something I might have seen, I think, on a Paris runway.
Oh, no, you not stroking me like a quarter horse. You are too fierce. That's very nice of you. But no, they won't let my stuff into the Paris runway. Well, I've been to Paris, but the red light district only. And, you know, voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir, you know?
Patti LaBelle was here and said that herself.
Yeah, she wears my clothes too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, I have seen your creations, and I don't know really if they are for me. But I'd like to honor your creativity and allow you to receive the exposure that I believe you deserve.
I kiss your feet. Oh, you know. Anyway, but can I bring out some of my models? I brought them with me. All right, pump up the music! All right, my first model coming out here. Her name is Fuzzy Weave. Come on out here, Fuzzy Weave. She's got on a red satin bolero. And notice how her boots are runned over on the side, but she get a lot of action on her feet, don't you, girl? Yeah, she's wonderful.
But can I just say one thing? Well, she kind of looks like a hooker.
Can you say hoochie mama? Hoochie mama, yes,
okay.
not hooker. No,
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, who's next?
Okay, next we have Hoover after the vacuum cleaner. Come on out here, Hoover. Hoover is a mother of 6, and she has to go from the corner right to the PTA meeting. So that's why she's in that spandex outfit. I think the key to my fashion is the word spandex.
Spandex.
Stretch it, stretch it, stretch it. Don't she look great? Our next model is called Naked Eater. Come on out here, Naked Eater. She is Hoochie Couture. I can't keep clothes on this woman. She's wearing a bustier and a crinkled up, that's called velvet skirt. And look at those shoes. Are they high enough?
Those are great shoes.
Yes, they're great. She spends a lot of time at the chiropractor. She done broke her ankle 3-4 times.
Now, is hoochie wear affordable?
Oh, yes, any kind of clothes are affordable if somebody else is paying for them. And next up, we have something wonderful for you, Roseanne.
Oh, good.
We have a woman who's called, I can give it to you, but what you gonna do with it? Oh, and she is fabulous. She's wearing a net mesh top with my favorite color, fuchsia.
Fuchsia, beautiful.
Yes, it glows in the dark, so she'll never get hit in traffic. It's a safety precaution. And those shoes are wonderful. They're pointed at the toes just to give you the right amount of bunion and corn. Come on up here. We are just having a wonderful time.
Lovely.
Okay, and we have one more model coming out here. You're gonna love her. Let's hear it for Bam Bam.
Wow. Isn't that cute? That's adorable. Wow. Beautiful.
My inspiration was Shirley Temple.
I see.
Yes. She always checks her beeper like a good hoochie mama should.
Isn't that a cute skirt?
It's adorable, and everything is in. You can see right through that, so you know she's not carrying any weapons. I think that's great. All right, let's hear it from my girls. Come together. Strike a pose. Hey. What's going on up in here?
You girls out here thinking y'all models and whatnot? Hey, you should be out there working for me. You know? So why don't y'all out there go back and get to work? You know? Mama that I've been hearing so much about?
That's me.
All right, you girls, don't go too far. You just work the crowd, get that money from them men. There's plenty of men out there.
Roseanne,
All right.
close set.
Now,
Yeah, I know. Excuse me, I'm having a Shaft flashback, but this is a close set, sir.
well, look, which one did you say was Queen Hoochie Mama, a.k.a. Luscious Cleavage?
Oh, no, that would be her.
No, I think it's her. Look at that cleavage.
No,
I see.
No, I think it's her.
I think it's you.
Well, you know it. You just the one I've been looking for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you so sweet
Oh.
and luscious.
Oh.
You know, I just like to sop you up like with a hot biscuit.
Oh.
What you think of that, baby?
I think we need to go over here and talk. I'm sorry.
Yeah, why don't we just stroll over here and see what kind of business we can get into? Now, what you say you was good for and what you think you can do?
Roseanne, I'm sorry. I got to go. Keep the clothes. You
Oh,
know.
thank you.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, you under arrest. And don't you girls move! Now, you have the right to remain silent.
Roseanne, call my lawyer.
Come on, girl, you know what I'm talking about. Come on.
We'll be right back with rapper, actor Ice-T!
On the next Roseanne show, Hollywood icon Charlton Heston channels his old friend Moses.
I would like to thank our pimp-turned-cop, the original Huggy Bear, Antonio Fargas, for helping us out today. Very funny. My next guest is a former gang member who some people say invented gangsta rap. He sold over 10 million albums worldwide. It's amazing. And appeared in over 17 movies. He travels the country these days talking to high school and college kids about getting real. Please welcome Ice-T.
Crenshaw's in the house. That's his school. That's my school right there.
You went to Crenshaw High.
Yeah, Crenshaw High. Crenshaw High is like as far as South Central goes, it's the most central school in the whole city. Like, you know, it's the dead center of Los Angeles, in the middle of the west side and the east side. So if you went to Crenshaw, that means you the bomb. Represent.
What were you like in high school?
I don't know, you know, I was just an average kid at the time I went to Crenshaw. It was like... I was doing a lot of different, I was doing a lot of different things, but that was where I was introduced to the gang scene.
Man, you had a rough early life. You lost your mother. How old were you?
I lost my mother when I was in the 3rd grade and my father when I was in the 7th grade. So...
And then you came out to L.A., lived with an aunt?
Exactly. I came and I lived in an area of Los Angeles called View Park, which is upper middle class black neighborhoods. You know, it was pretty cool there. And that area, they were busing to like white junior high schools. And then when it was time to go to high school, a lot of the kids that were in that area went to Palisades High. But I decided I wanted to just walk across Crenshaw Boulevard and go to the Shaw. And so when I got there, it was a whole nother environment and stuff. And at that time, they were having like a gang war at the time. There was the Brims was in the school and the Crips was taking it over. So, you know,
You were a member of the Crips, weren't you?
I was affiliated. I never was jumped into any gang, but I was affiliated with Rolling 60 Crips, Harlem Crips, Hoover Crips. Basically
So
that.
you don't get tougher than that for a high school kid.
No, at that time, Time Magazine called Crenshaw High School Fort Crenshaw. It was the toughest high school in the country.
And you like went through a lot of stuff, and then tell me how you end up in the Army.
What happened was when I was in the 12th grade, I graduated out of Crenshaw on a 20-week report card, which if you get enough credits by going to summer school, you can get out early. But then at the same time, I got my girlfriend pregnant. She was in the 10th grade. And so I was a teen parent. So I left my aunt's house and I was living by myself at 17 years old. And I decided to, you know, I wanted to try to become responsible because I was out on the streets. I'm running with these hustlers. I'm trying to get money, but I'm really not getting enough. I got a little girl, so I made a decision to try to join the military. So I went in the military, did 4 years.
What'd you learn in the military? Can I ask you that?
Nothing really, just how to kill. Just how to kill, you know. I was in 25th Infantry Division in Schofield Barracks in Hawaii, and I came back out of the military, and I really didn't want to listen to anybody at that point. The military made me worse, because...
Really?
Yeah, because once you
didn't get any of that internal discipline that they talk about in there?
You can get that same internal discipline going to prison or something, you know.
Right, that's right, you do. A lot of people do get it there,
yeah.
Absolutely.
So I just came back, and what happened was when I got back home, my boys that were small-time hustlers at that time had become big-time hustlers, and they picked me up from the airport in Mercedes-Benzes and Vets, and they say, yo, Ice, this is how we doing it at this point. You know, we hitting jury licks, and we went out and we started robbing. I started, you know, I was hitting jewelry licks and doing a lot of different things and getting a lot of money. I made a lot of money at that point. And then I got in some trouble, and I went to Hawaii, and I was pimping for like 2.5 years over there. And then I came back to Los Angeles, and rap just kind of dropped out of the sky. You know, there was no rap.
It kind of dropped out, yeah.
There was no music called rap.
How did it drop out of your mouth?
I don't know. I used to just say rhymes. I used to say these rhymes that were gang-based rhymes, you know, and slogans and stuff. And then this music called hip-hop came out, and I tried to do it my way. But the life I was leading, it wasn't like a rapper. Rappers say stuff like, throw your hands in the air and, you know, and wave them like you just don't care. Only time we ever said throw your hands in the air, we was robbing the party. You know what I'm saying? So my boys was like, you know, Ice, just rap about how we living. So I started rapping about pimps and guns and drugs, and they called that gangster rap. And that was like, I made the first gangster rap record, which was called 6 in the Morning, which is a song about a kid getting chased out of his house by the cops. And
what kind of a wasteland were you living in your head, though? Let me ask you that. What kind of an angry, like, wasteland place was it in your head to...
When you ain't got no mother or father,
right,
and the only love you got is from your homeboy who says he'll kill somebody if something happens to you, that turns out to be love to you. Yeah. And you start feeling like the cards are dealt against you. You have the making grounds for a very violent individual, you know, and...
Because you know what, well, isn't it true? I know for me, too. It's like when you're feeling like you're put upon and there's no place you can turn, you start feeling justified in everything you do to take something back, don't you?
Yeah, you feel like the world is against you and they got it and you don't, so whatever I got to do to get it from you, because you ain't giving me no chance, so, you know, you got to pay. You know what I'm saying? And you have to make the world pay. And when you feel like if you die, nobody will care by not having any relatives or no family, really me having my daughter really saved my life in a way because...
I want to talk about what snapped you into a whole new reality, but we're going to take a commercial first. When we come back, we're going to talk more with Ice-T.
This ain't no damn joke. This thing is real to me. I'm Ice-T. OG. OG. OG.
I didn't leave home much. I didn't like LA, didn't have no friends to trust. Got bused to a school, blacks and whites. I guess it was cool, but by high school I changed. I didn't want to bust, I didn't want to play the game. I walked to Crenshaw High. It was fly. I hooked up with a new crew. Some brothers that seemed like they knew what the hell to do. You might call it a gang, but we call it a set. And it was...
But I want to talk about what it was that took you from kind of a lonely and sad and angry place to this new place you're in now, and talk about that a little bit.
I don't know, like I say, it was like rap just kind of dropped out of the sky. I was sitting around one day, I heard Sugar Hill Gang, and I was listening, and I flipped the record over, and I tried to do what they were doing. And Next thing you know, I was going to clubs, doing it. People were starting to like it. My boys was basically like, when we would go in a club, they would pay the DJ off so that I could rap and we could get the girls. Because we were just doing it to get the girls at the time and stuff. Because they wasn't trying to meet no hustlers. They want to meet somebody that think they, you know, they want to be with a celebrity. So we lied and said we were celebrities. And what happened was I got to be in this movie called Breakin', back in the days with Shabba-Doo and Boogaloo Shrimp and all that. And everybody laughs when I say Breakin'. It's funny, because if you look at me in Breakin', I had on leather and spikes and stuff, but I challenge anybody, show me what you wore that night you went to see Breakin'. What clothes you had on, because that was a style, and I was at the top of the, you know, I was doing it then. But after doing that movie, my boys were going to jail, heavy. And they would call me from prison, and a lot of them were getting life sentences for what we were doing. And they was like, Ice, man, stay down, man. You got action, man. You can do this, man. This is gonna be big, man. Represent for us. And I stuck with rap.
So they were telling you to, like, stay clean and make it?
Yeah, it's like when your friends start going to prison, people you look up to, they gonna call you home. Unless they suckers, they're gonna tell you to come on in here with us.
Right.
So they gonna tell you, they say, man, this ain't no place for no player, man. You need to stay on the bricks, man. You need to stay down with this rapping, man. This is gonna be big. And so I kind of stayed with it, and I put out a few albums, and I made my first record, and it sold. I was like, damn, man, I sold a gold record. I was like, damn.
Did that do something, did, like, that success, did that incredible success do anything to, like, where you realized that you owed something?
Well, I always try to put in my music both sides of the game. You know, I always try to put in the real side, which is, you know, you can end up in prison. But I also try to show that it is attractive and it is exciting, or else I'd be lying to myself while I was there in the first place. You know, so I try to balance my records. My records seem to be balanced. I don't make invincible gangsters in my records, but I write from the perspective of a kid out there on the street. I try to give back what I can.
But you don't feel any of that stuff anymore. You've changed your whole perspective, haven't you?
My anger is refocused. You know, it's like when you're down in the gutter, you think everybody, it's like you're mad at everybody. Now with me, it's not about being mad at everybody. I don't hate anybody in this audience. It's about me being very angry at the right people. You know, not everybody, just the right people. So.
What do you tell kids? I know you go around and you talk to kids. You're trying to help kids, like, have a better life than you had.
Well, I tell them I understand what's so attractive about it out there. I know what's enticing about it, but first off, the first thing they gotta know is they gotta believe that they can be something. Once you believe that you're supposed to stay in the ghetto and you can't have things, then you're doomed. You have to believe that you got the same brain cells as Donald Trump, the same talent as anybody out there who you would think is rich, and go after the books, go after the knowledge they have. I mean, I wouldn't need to pay a lawyer if I went to law school. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody can obtain the same knowledge if they're willing to take the time to do it, and learning is the easiest thing to do because you don't have to move. You know, you can sit in one place and learn a lot of things.
You're talking about like a real internal re-racking of priorities, though, aren't you?
Well, I'm telling them from the perspective of somebody who went down the lane that they think they might want to go, and it turns into a big loop where you go down this lane and you get to this dead end and you see everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. Everybody's in prison for life. And I get phone calls from people on death row, my homies.
How are, like, these kids, these young kids, what can you tell them about staying focused to make it, just to live?
They got to go about it like it's going to be a war, and it's going to be a war of them against all the negativity that's going to take them down. And if they choose to be negative, then they're going to end up on the negative side. But if they choose to be positive, but they're going to have to fight. It's not going to be easy at all. Like, one thing I tell them is, like, I don't get high, I don't drink, I never done any drugs. I done sold drugs, but I never done any drugs. So what does that tell you? It's like when my homies used to be like, yo, Ice, go on, man, you know, hit the joint. I'd be like, I don't want to hit the joint. So if you don't hit the joint, I'm like, well, if I'm a why don't you make me hit the joint? You know what I'm saying?
They didn't do that, did they?
Nah, you know, it's like, it takes more guts to be yourself than to roll with the crew.
You know what else I think it takes more guts? I'm going to jump right in and give my 2 cents here. It takes
Well, you know because you got guts. That's why I'm on your show, because I respect you.
Thank
you. You know what I'm saying?
I want to say to kids and everybody out there that I know, because I came up hard too. I didn't come up hard like you came hard, but I came up hard. And it's so much harder. It's so much harder to go for the positive. Oh my God, everything in the whole world is up in your face. Everything is like, hey, come over here, come over here. It's so much harder, and it is being a soldier. It really is a war, and it really is being a soldier. But at the end, if you can stay alive and stay there, you make it.
Exactly. And I think one thing God gave everybody out there, I think the fact that we have kids as adults, I think if adults didn't have children, we would probably all stay children. We would never grow up. But when you see a kid that you put on this earth, it kind of gives you a little responsibility. And you say, man, I can't just go wild. I got a little homie here that's looking out. I got to look out for him. So maybe I need to handle my business. And I'm going to be totally honest. If I didn't have my kid, I don't know if I would be here today. You know, it kind of like put me in check.
I think it's true for everyone on earth. I really do. If none of us had kids, maybe none of us would be here.
I think we'd all be buck wild, you know.
I want to thank you so much for coming on my show. I think you're just a very important person, and you let it rip. You say it. I'm so glad you say it. Please keep saying it.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Come back anytime, too. Iced tea, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. That is all for today's show. Thank the audience for coming. Thanks the people at home. Thanks to Crenshaw High School. You guys stay right, and I mean it, because I'll look you up if you don't. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow.
You have breast, you're at risk. Breast cancer may be prevented, and it's in the food you eat. It's the diet these women swear helps keep them alive. The Breast Cancer Prevention Diet. Next open.
Tomorrow afternoon at 4, followed by News 8 at 5, here on Channel 8.